I gotta figure out a way to make money because I don't want to like go back to journalism. Like I don't want to live in a small town. Like what do I do? My advice would just be like, just be nice to yourself. Remember you're doing the best you can. Like and trust yourself. If you're being an entrepreneur, like you clearly have some entrepreneur gene tendency. Like you're gonna figure it out. So just trust yourself.
I would love to know, like, what was your job prior to owning your own business and what made you jump into this entrepreneurship journey? What inspired you?
Yeah, my job before running Copilot was a few things. I was like a reporter in college and I did a lot of investigative journalism and reporting, and I did some on my own. Is the connection okay?
Yeah, it's good.
Okay. I
It's
did some on my own and I was like traveling, and I was in college in Boston and in Los Angeles. So when we were in LA, it was when the migrant crisis was happening. So I, at the time, wasn't really good at Spanish. So I like got my friend and I, who was good at Spanish, to like drive down and cover the migrant crisis. And then I got it like aired some places and like it did really well. Because I didn't like the way it was being covered. And so that was really cool. But then I wanted to be like a travel journalism person, but that's not really something that was being hired for anymore. So I was like, what if I just travel? And it was more of a story than this. But I was like, what if I just like kind of travel and do my own journalism? I'm already doing that. So I was like, okay, yeah, sure. So I did that. And that's not what happened. I didn't do any journalism. I just traveled. I had a great time. And after like a year and a half, I was like, I gotta figure out a way to make money because I don't want to like go back to journalism. Like I don't want to live in a small town. Like what do I do? And so I started it was kind of an all roads led to here. Honestly, it wasn't one thing that led me to create Copilot. Also, I come from a family of entrepreneurs. Like no one in my family has a regular job. Like everyone's kind of made their own thing. So it wasn't really like a big deal to me, to be honest. It was just kind of like what you did. Like me thinking that I was going to like have a steady job was like crazy to me. Like I was like, I'm gonna be the first in my family. Like, woo, we're gonna do something different. No, still an entrepreneur. But so I was traveling and I kept noticing kind of people getting all different types of travel sickness, but really preventable travel sicknesses, like nothing crazy. But it would be like, you're too tired to go hike a mountain that we spent all day getting to. Or for me, I would get like really bad anxiety and stress. And every like 7 months, I'd have to go home. We broke that thanks to Copilot. Copilot has literally helped me so much. Woo! We got these. um, that was
got the
awesome.
iPhone
Thanks,
special
Apple.
effects going. I love it.
Seriously, on my laptop. Man. So
Oh,
cool.
it's on your laptop.
Yeah, it's the first time I've used a video on this laptop, to be honest. So we're figuring out it's a new laptop. Um, but so I noticed everyone getting different kinds of travel sickness. Okay, cool, including myself, definitely including myself, but definitely including my friends. And then this is kind of like the funny story that I only tell sometimes, but it's true and it's hilarious. So we're gonna go ahead and share it. I came home. It was after it was like after peak COVID. I just got home from Bali and I was like, Hannah, it's actually really funny. I was like, I've been watching this guy on YouTube, Travis, and a couple other people. And I was and like, I think I kind of want to make an Amazon product. And she was like, yeah. And I was like, yeah, I downloaded this like software. We can kind of like scan and see what products would be good. Like, I don't know. And she was like, all right, hit me. And we're like idea bouncers. Like it's our game. It's our favorite thing to do. So I was like, okay. So I like get out the software. It was like viral launch. And I'm looking at all these different products. And I just want to preface that this is not in Copilot, okay? This is not in Copilot. But I find this bag of it like this sketchy white powder. And what it says that it does is in high stress situations, it makes you able to think clearly. And I was like laughing and I was like, this would be great for travelers. Like I've had so many high stress situations where I'm like doing something crazy and I need to think fast and on my feet. And usually I do, but not always. And so we're like laughing and we're like, Right, we're like, "We're just gonna take this sketchy white powder, we're gonna put it in little supplements, and we're gonna sell it to travelers." Like,
It
done,
sounds safe.
easy. That's my
Sounds
Amazon product.
Doesn't sound sketchy at all.
Um, doesn't sound sketchy at all. I was like, "It's a foolproof system. Like, this is definitely what we're gonna do." Hang on, I'm just gonna move my laptop a little. It's so funny. Sorry, I'm thinking, there we go. Okay. Um, so I was like, "Perfect, that's the rest of my life." So then we're joking, and I'm like, "Okay, I'm not gonna do that. But if I did make a supplement for travelers, like, what would we
Mm,
call it?" And so we're like, I had been in India for a few months. Like, I just came home from Bali, but before that, I was in India. And I'd been in India for a few months, and I love India. And she was like, "What if you call it?" And it was like the Hindi word for health. And I still don't remember what it is because it wasn't like a very memorable word. And I was like, "Ooh, love the concept. Don't love it in practice." She was like, "Okay." So we're like bouncing ideas, going. And then it was like dinner time or something, and I was gonna go home. She was gonna make food for her kids. And I get up off her like little office couch and I look at her and I go, "I'm not opening a supplement company." And we both start laughing and I walk away and then I left. And then the whole ride home, I'm like, "What if I did open a supplement company? What would I call it?" And I was like, "Well, it would be for travelers and I would want it to like help you and be there for you no matter what you're going through. It'd kind of be like your co-pilot. I think I would call it co-pilot." And so I texted her when I got home and I was like, "I think I would call it co-pilot." And she was like, "No, I still like the word for health in Hindi." And I was like, "Okay, agree to disagree." And like that was it. The next day I was like, "I'm not going to start a supplement company. But if I did," and I would like do research on ingredients and like figure out what could go together. And like I started doing like I was like a research investigative journalism. Your girl loves research. So I was like doing research on like ingredients and their origins and like making sure I got some like I learned about ashwagandha in India and like some other stuff. And then also just like researching a ton, everything and figuring out like I did some like surveys and stuff about what people's biggest kind of like qualms were when they traveled. Like if most people like struggled with sleep or if no one really even noticed that their sleep changed, stuff like that. And yeah, that was kind of it just kind of slowly. I was like, "I'm not gonna do this. But if I did, here we
did
are."
you use any of the tools like Helium 10 to check what people are searching for, or did you do your own like online research on what people are using and what are good supplements for traveling and feeling better? How did you do your research? Did you use any tools?
Using the tools. Yeah, I think I was using mostly Viral Launch because I liked it. And I searched for it because I was like thinking, I was like, actually, supplements are something that would really benefit travelers. Like, and I was thinking that any like, I had already realized people were getting sick. And so I searched it then once we were like coming up with this supplement company, I was like, well, someone probably already did this. Like, it's such an obvious idea. Like, travelers are always getting sick. We're always in new places. We're eating weird stuff. We're like around germs. Like, obviously, someone's done this. And so I typed it into First, I typed it into Amazon and literally nothing came up. It was just like pill organizers. And then I typed it into Amazon and it was whatever the lowest search was, like less than 200 or into Viral Launch. And it was less than 200 a month. I think that's the lowest they go or whatever. And that's when I was like, that's kind of crazy. Like, why would they not have this? Like, we have everything. Like, I was in America. This is America. There's literally everything. Like, why does this not exist?
Huh.
Yeah,
So there was no competition or similar products?
there was literally nothing. Now there's a ton of competition. It's been a few years and I got a lot of copycat products, let me tell you. But it's okay. All ships rise. I did a lot of advertising that I felt was kind of educational the first like year and a half. Because I would say travel supplement and people I made that up. And people were like, what's a travel supplement? I was like, "Oh, it's a supplement for travelers." And I would kind of show the uses and stuff like that. And it really led to our sales growing last year. And since they grew, that's when I started getting copycat products. But now I think it's more searched for, which is kind of cool because I'm noticing like other companies also doing pretty well. So that's kind of cool. I think within the next couple of years, it's going to be like, oh, obviously you should have your travel supplement.
I love it. Yeah, I mean, I don't know, but it's like it's weird that there was nothing like it before because I feel like when I was a kid, like yeah, that was always an issue. Like people would travel and always catch something on the airplane or get sick somehow, and there was like nothing out there that would
Yeah.
prevent something, like preventative or like boost your immune system somehow. But I like the idea of it. So when you came up with this concept and you're like, okay, I got it, I'm gonna do this. How did you find your manufacturer? Where did you look? How many
Mm,
manufacturers did you talk to? What was that process for you like? You said a lot.
uh, a, a lot, maybe like 100. I since I was like, I wasn't like jumping in like, I'm doing this. It was more, like I said, it was more about I'm not gonna, but if I did. So in that, I think it kind of gave me a lot of flexibility because it wasn't like everything was riding on this. It was just kind of like a fun project that I wanted. Like if I'm going to do a
Is it-
project, I want it to be really good. Oh, what? All right, let's try here. If this doesn't work, I'm just going to move into the other room.
while you do that, I want to check out the website. I didn't see the website. I only saw the Amazon page. Interesting name. That's a long name.
Yeah, it was always just Copilot, Copilot with a dash. And that's even like our DBA, but randomly, yeah,
Oh, I see that. Yeah, Copilot, the travel brand.
yeah,
You
it's
had
okay.
why did they make you change it?
Um, they is this better, by the way?
So much better. Yeah, this is so
Oh,
good.
cool. Okay, good.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, randomly, they just disabled my account 2 weeks ago and said I was violating a trademark, as Amazon does. And so it said that even though it was Copilot with a dash, which is our legal, like doing business as name, they were like, no, you can't do that. And I'm assuming it's because of Copilot from Microsoft. So I had to just change everything to Copilot with a dash, the travel brand, which I do have a trademark for. Um,
Did you have a trademark?
I do have a trademark, yeah.
And what's the name on the trademark?
Copilot, the travel brand.
Oh, that's why.
Yeah.
Yeah, Amazon is very picky on like what name you put on the Did you just launch this trademark or is that the original trademark and you wanted to
Well, I've had
use?
it.
You've always
I
had it.
just thought it was like both our business name. I didn't think it mattered. And I've been running it just as Copilot for like 2 years.
Yeah, Amazon cares about the trademark more than the business name. I don't know why
Mm,
they do that, but that's what they go by. So whatever name you have on your trademark, that's what they want to go by. But you went by, I mean, for a while, I guess, without,
yeah.
yeah, then they gave you a chance to change the name. So you don't have to like close the listing and create a new one.
No, I just changed it all to Copilot, the travel brand.
Okay, great.
Because I didn't know,
Um,
honestly, I had no idea that I was like violating anything.
right. So what they sent you an email telling you that this is
Um,
violating.
yeah, I think they posted it in my account health, but I didn't notice it. And then they just shut it down. And then it just took me a couple days to get it back up. But my 2 pack went down for like a full week. And
Oh,
that
wow.
I don't know why it was like I was struggling to get that one up. I think I had it I think I had it written like in the back somewhere and I didn't know. So I kept like submitting it and it was still saying that I didn't fix it. But it was just because it was in like, yeah, some description or something and I didn't realize.
Wow. Well, I like your
That's okay.
website. It's really nice the way it's
Thanks.
done. Yeah, very, very professional. So going back to manufacturers, how
Yes.
did you find your manufacturers and how many manufacturers did you talk to?
Oh yeah. So since it wasn't like it wasn't like I decided to be this entrepreneur and then everything was riding on it. Like I said, like I kind of was like doing it.
Oh my God, it's just you just froze, Sydney. I don't know if you can hear me, but I don't hear you and your picture is not moving. I'm sorry. I don't know what's going on. Okay, there you are.
There we
I don't
go.
know
I
what
was so
happened. Right when you start talking about manufacturer, it froze. That's a
right? That's what
bummer.
I'm like, does the universe not want me to talk about manufacturing? This is the
I know,
second time I've
right?
done it. Like, I'm in Bali. I believe in all this. I'm very spiritual.
I know, right? They're like,
I for a
don't
third
talk
time.
about manufacturers.
Don't tell them. Switch the story. Like, it's just the truth.
We'll try one more time. If it doesn't work,
Sorry,
we'll
one
move on to the next.
more. Okay, perfect. Okay. So for manufacturing, I had like through doing research and stuff, I created this like 3-page document with like 100 criteria that I needed my manufacturer to say yes to. It was like a little crazy, to be honest. I wanted like my ingredients sourced from the countries that I wanted them from. I wanted the highest grade. I wanted this, and that. I also needed, I didn't know what my pills would come in, but I knew it wouldn't be a plastic jar. So I was like, I need you to be able to like fulfill this in a different way, but I just don't know what way yet. I had been like,
Mhm.
I also worked as like a dive mat during the travels. When I started launching this, I was also working as like a dive master. And so we would do like beach cleanups all the time. And I was literally living in the ocean. So I was like, I can't have a bottle of plastic wash up on shore. Like I'll shut the company down. So I was like, well, I don't really want to shut a company down that I'm about to open. So how can I just make sure that doesn't happen? So I was like, okay, we'll make them cool, we'll make them reusable, like the whole thing. And other small things where like I really prefer to work with women, or like hire women or whatever. And so I called literally like 100 places, and there was only one woman that answered the phone. And that woman was also the only person that said they could put my supplements in a different container. Everyone else was like, yeah, cool idea, ahead of your time, not for another X amount of years. And I was like, like, come, it's just a manufacturing thing. Like, just put it in something different. And no one would give me the time of day. Or like something else small. And this one woman that answered the phone, literally everything. She nailed everything. She even like questions. I was like, oh, I need this like certification for Amazon. She was like, yep, I know what it is. Gotcha. And I was like, that
Wow.
was easy. Yeah. So really love her. Thanks, Sarah.
I love it. So you connected with her. She basically was able to fulfill your requirements, and it sounded like you had a good connection with the sales rep. So you're like, this is it. Like, I'm gonna work with this manufacturer.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So how was it? Like, were you able to give them your requirements in terms of like, I want these ingredients. Can you put them in capsules, and walk me through that process, and like how hard was it? Did you have to order samples?
Yeah, I did order samples. I also took the formula I created and I found a pharmacist and I had her like dose it and switch out some things, make sure it all like went well together. Gave it to my manufacturer's team and they had their team look at it and like approve it and stuff. And then I ordered samples. I ordered just like a couple bottles or some amount of pills. I don't remember. And then I went to Central America for 6 months and I just like gave them out for free. And I was like, hey guys, can you take these pills and tell me how you feel? Because you're all travelers. And everyone was like, yeah, sure, whatever. Travelers are very open. So I literally was just there, like chilling, traveling around, giving out my little suppies. Everyone loved them. So I was like, I gotta do this.
Were those
Um,
were those the samples you ordered?
yeah, it was exactly this. I was pretty much exactly the same as it is now. Yeah.
That's funny. And did the manufacturer help you with the package design, how it looks like in the 10 bucks?
She had a team that would have been able to do it, but I was like, I love the artistic side of it. So I had been like drawing how I wanted it to look. I
Mhm.
had like 100 different sketches. I had like when I was still in the US, me and my brother and my sister-in-law like sat around a different sister, sat around a table. It was from like 11 p.m. to like 2 a.m., like Christmas vibes. And we're like round table discussion, and we're like, all right, let's think of what can this be made of? Okay, we're thinking wood. No, wood, gross. Okay, we're thinking plastic. Nope, bad for the oceans. We're thinking this. We're thinking this. We go to tin, and we're like, all right, say we do tin. What shape's the tin? How are we going to make it? How are we going to make it fit? We don't want it to use more tin than it needs to, because that's wasteful too. Like, you don't want, like, if a packaging's like half full, like we use just like pop, 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 popping off. We decided on tin. We decided on like tall, so that it wouldn't spill if you were taking them on a bus or something. And then like a week or two later, my nephew and I, he was like 5 years old at the time, but he's like definitely going to be a little architect. We were like cutting out cardboard boxes and taping them together in like sizes to see like what we wanted it to look like. And then I found a couple different places that had basically it would hold exactly 60 pills with no wasted space. So I ordered a couple different things of those tins, because they were just like slightly different shapes. And I wanted it to look like a deck of cards. Because then it could fit in the deck of cards thing in your like backpack or bag. And then then that all happened and I figured it out. And then I hired a branding agency. And I was
Oh,
like, this.
nice. I love that. So you figured out the design aspects with your family, and then you hired like a brand agency to kind of come up with the final design and put it into like
Mhm.
a put it into print and send it to the manufacturer kind of thing. And
Yeah,
the manufacturer made the package for you?
a different manufacturer.
A different manufacturer. Okay, cool.
Different, yeah.
Where is your manufacturer at?
For my supplements, it's in Georgia.
Mhm.
And then for the tins, it's overseas. But I have them made there and then I have them shipped into the US and then put all together.
Uh, Georgia. Okay, Georgia, the state, right? Not in Eastern Europe.
Georgia, the state. Yeah, it's made in the US. Yeah.
Cool. I like it. And you
Yeah.
put here that it cost you $2,000 to put the design together?
I honestly don't remember. I think it was something like that. I was trying to find my packing slips, but I have a new computer. Or not packing slips, like my whatchamacallit. I remember being about that. It was actually a really expensive branding agency, but it was COVID. So I was getting like
Mm.
sweet prices on everything. And people liked the idea. They liked the story that I'm like a traveler who just wanted to like I really just wanted to like make it to help travelers in the end. Like I was sick of me going home because I was anxious. I was sick of other people like not being able to do stuff. And then I literally just wanted to travel around and give it out as I did. Like, so I think people like kind of liked it. People resonated with it. So they gave me like a really sweet deal. I don't remember exactly what it was, but I think it was something like that. And now they're like $100,000 to like brand something. They're like
Wow.
huge people.
Wow. Did you run into any big issues with manufacturing at all?
Um, Not really. My issues were more like all my own creation, like self-doubt, stuff like that. Cause then when it was really happening, I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna own a supplement company. Like, I don't know. I was just freaking myself out, man. I was really freaking myself out. And then I just what if blah, blah, like just disaster scenarioing, which is so not the vibe. But everything went perfectly. Everything still goes perfectly. Like everything's good. I'm very thorough. Like I'm always checking everything 1, 2, 5, 10 times. Still do. And yeah, knock on wood, everything's always good. So my only problem is not anymore. We've come a long way.
Oh, that's with everyone. So yeah, I mean, being self-aware of your negative self-talk and talking yourself out of it is really important. I think it's a big part of the process. Um, and
So true.
yeah, so how much did the your first production run cost you? I know you put here around $8,000. Was that accurate?
I just pictured you like, so how much did therapy through all this cost you? A lot. Um, um,
Plus therapy, if that was part of the process, I'll put it in there.
that's why it's so high. Um, I think it was something like $8,000. And might have been a little more with the tins. That was again a rough estimate. I was just trying to kind of like remember. I would say about 8,000. The samples were just like a couple $100. But then, yeah, the first batch was about something like that. Yeah,
And how many units was that?
1,000.
1,000 units. Number.
Yeah,
Just gonna put it in here.
and some tins. I got 5,000 tins and I got 1,000 supplements.
Nice. And at the time, did you initiate like an LLC or a DBA at all? Did you start any, like a business entity?
Yeah, totally. I'm very like by the books. I try to
What
be.
type?
If I can find it, I do it. I do it right, and then I'll realize that I forgot something, and then I do it that day. But I made an S corp. Like before I even had the samples, I think I had an S corp. I was already paying like I literally went to my town hall and I opened it up even in the town and then paid like a town tax. Like so unnecessary. I was like, I just want to do everything. I just don't want anything wrong. So I definitely have an S corp, yes.
Who did it for you? Did you hire someone to do it or did you do it yourself?
I did it. Did it
Oh,
myself.
wow. That's amazing. And it cost you $500?
I think like a tax costs like $500. Like it was just like random legal fees because I just did too much. So I just had to pay like it was something like 500. Like I think the first year I paid like 400 in a tax for something. I think the town charged me $100. I remember I went to the bank to open my bank account and I was like missing one thing. I don't remember what it was. And they were like, "Oh, it looks like you need to have like this paperwork filled out." And I was like, "Okay, just I'm gonna pull it up on my phone. Just give me a minute." And I filled out the whole thing and I submitted it. It literally took like 5 minutes. And they were like, "What?" And I was like, "Yeah, it's done. Like, can we process this now?" And they go, "Usually that takes 2 weeks, and companies will pay like $10,000 for someone to file that form." And I was like, "I just did it." So I was like,
Oh
"Can
my
I pay
God.
me 10 grand to do it?" I was like, I don't have 10 grand to file a form. Like, are you kidding? So yeah, no, I just
Oh my
most
God.
yeah, you can do anything yourself. And they make it seem a lot harder than it is, except for patents. That is fairly hard.
So are you patented?
We have a patent, and I thought that it was totally set, but I was looking at the trademark one. I don't know. It just all got jumbled. So the trademark one's totally set. And so then it's technically patented, but I need to file some correction forms. And I've been trying to file them for like over a year, maybe
Oh,
2
yeah.
years. And then I'm on calls with the person, and then it's not this and it's not this. But I know that, I mean, I already have a million copycat products. Number one, they've even copied my ingredients, and I don't want to like do any. I'm not like a take legal action kind of girl. Um, but I know that if I ever needed to, I could get that patent, and it would still be in like the 2020 date or whatever it was. And that's
Yeah,
fine.
but that's typical with patents. There's a lot of corrections that has to take place, and it's like part of the process, and it could take like years to
Crazy.
get it approved.
Yeah, such a process.
Yeah. I see here that you have like liability insurance. What is that?
Yeah. Because it's a product that people are ingesting, you just need to like have everything covered. Or if like there's damage to, like say the warehouse flood, I don't hold any of the product. I like have a different facility that holds it all. So like if anything happened to the facility, anything like that, yeah, you just need covered on just like all things. Yeah.
I see. Nice. Smart. I like it. And so now like you've been through all that. What was like the next step that you went through? You had your product, you placed your first inventory order. You did all your due diligence, you got your S corp, and you got everything ready. Did you, like, when you made your product, did you ship it straight to the Amazon warehouse, or did you launch straight to Amazon?
No, I blundered. To be honest, I blundered. I thought the reason I created this product was literally because I thought it would be A, because of the travelers, and B, because I thought it would be a sick Amazon product. And then it took like a year and a half. It was COVID, there was delays, my first company. I don't know what I was or wasn't thinking, but the first like 8 months, I like didn't even try on Amazon. it on Amazon, and I would get like eventually I put it on Amazon after like a few months. And I got like I remember in like I got like one random sale in July randomly like 8 or 10 people ordered it and I was freaking out. Like I was like, oh my God. But I didn't do anything. I don't know. I blundered. And so I like made my website and everything. And I was trying everything to get it to sell on the website. And like, oh my God, I was just like throwing darts at the wall and they were all just like falling off. It was brutal. Um,
Wow. Did you so when was that exactly? When did you launch on Amazon? Do you remember the year and the month?
yes. So I put it on Amazon. I must have put it on right now we're in 2024. So I must have put it on in 2022. I probably put it on early. Like I probably put it on like we launched for pre-sales on our website March 15th and then officially April 1st. So I think that was 2022. It was. So then I must have put it on Amazon like May or June or something, but I didn't do anything with it. Like I worked on the listing a little. I did work on the listing. I tried to make the listing really good and I hired someone to help with my bullet points and then I didn't like it and I think I redid my bullet points myself. But I didn't do anything with advertising. Or maybe I did like really loosely, like I spent maybe like a couple $100, but like I did it and I had no idea about anything. So I just like wasted a couple $100. And so I put it on and then it was so that like April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November to December. That's when I was trying to do everything with my website and I was just like failing, failing, failing. And that was pretty rough. And then in December, I was in Thailand and I was like so upset because I was like, I created this dope product. Like I love Copilot. I was taking it every day. My mental clarity had like never been better. As I said, like I've struggled a lot with like anxiety and stuff, and I can't use any legal terms for Copilot, but a lot of the ingredients help with stress management and such and mental clarity. And I had literally never felt better. Like I was so happy. It was like, yeah, everything was good. And then I was so sad because I was like, I made this super cool product and no one wants it. Like no one wants it. I don't know how to give it to people. I don't know how to make people want it. I was really good at creating it. I'm really good at organizing everything. Not much of a sales girl. I'm learning like, okay. I also was like I had the whole time I was traveling, I made videos on my Instagram and stuff, and people did buy it, but that lasted like a month, like, okay, all your people buy it. Cool, you have a good month. Now what? And I didn't like really know that going into it. I thought it would just kind of work or something. Um, so then it was, and I was like, you know what? I got 1,000 things of supplements. They're good for a couple of years. I'm just gonna take them myself. I'll give them out to my friends. I don't know what to do. Like that was a fun trip. I'm gonna go home. I'm gonna be a reporter again. I was really good at it. Like, why do I just keep smashing my head into walls? Like just for fun. Like, what the heck? So I like a bunch of stuff happened and I was just like so upset, obviously. And I just remember I had like the longest night ever. And then the next morning, I was alone and I went out into the ocean in Thailand and I just started bawling my eyes out. I was like, I'm so mean to myself. Like all this stuff. It was just like this huge release of just everything for like Copilot and for like giving up and for trying so hard and for being so mean to myself about it. And then I was like, okay, what if I just sorry, no, it's kind of like a longer answer.
No, it's
What if I
fine.
just try I literally gave up in that moment. I was like, I'm done. Like, we're going home. But it was a couple days before Christmas, and I had gone home a couple days before Christmas from India a few years before, and life was just kind of repeating and nothing had changed, and I was feeling like not cool with it. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna make some friends, and like we're gonna finish Thailand right. Like, I'm done with this. So I made some friends, and then obviously I was in a happier mood. I wasn't alone anymore. Made this group of like 8 people. We were awesome. We all went to a different island together and we were like, okay, we're going to spend Christmas together. So I was like, okay, you're not going home. You're going to stay in Thailand. And I was like, and that made me feel better. And I was like, okay, that like took some guessing off. Like, I'm not freaking out anymore. Like, you're staying in Thailand. You're not booking a flight. I was like, okay. And then I was like, well, I already gave up on Copilot. Like, and I started like asking around. I started doing research on Thailand, like trying to make some journalism stuff about Thailand just to do before I went home to like be an official reporter again. And I was like, okay, well, I'm already doing work on Thailand. Like, what if I just keep doing work? What if I just like make sure that I work every Monday and Tuesday and never miss it and just like see what happens? And then I was like, okay, we're doing rules. Never done rules in my life. Let's do three. Rule of threes. Let's do three rules. Every morning when I would try to get myself to work for the last year on Copilot, I would stress myself out and I would just make stuff up. I'd be like, oh, like, I'm gonna get a coffee now. Oh, what flavor of coffee should I get? Oh, well, if I drink a flavor, then like it's gonna ruin the intermittent fast. So, oh, blah, blah, like just 20 minutes deciding what coffee, just trying to like distract myself. So I was like, coffee black. Now you can't look at flights because you're staying in Thailand till the end of December. You are working every Monday and Tuesday, and you are drinking your coffee black. So all the things you think about are gone. So just sit down and work. So I was like doing my journalism stuff, and I was like, well, I might as well just like tap for Copilot a little bit. Like, I already gave up. What's the harm? Like, if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. It already wasn't going to work. And that's when I was like, huh, I never really actually tried with Amazon. Like, what if I just taught myself advertising? Like, how hard could it be? So I taught myself advertising. And that's when everything changed.
Wow.
And
When you say advertising, are you referring to like PPC marketing?
yeah, because in the past, over the last 8 months before this, I had tried to teach myself Google advertising and Facebook advertising. And there's just so many variables, so many variables. So I was like, Amazon seems like a similar thing, but like a really condensed.
Oh no, it's okay. It's my webcam.
Um, I was like, Amazon seems like a similar vibe, but a really condensed version with way less variables. I don't have to test like the videos I'm using. I don't have to test the photos I'm using. I can just figure out actually, because no one knows what this product is. I can just actually figure out what's going to sell this product based on words and based on products that it's up against. So I was like, that seems like a lot easier to teach myself. And then I can use that knowledge and I can apply it to Google and Facebook and whatever, because then I'll also know, oh, it sells for jet lag, not for stress, whatever it is, or the opposite. So I did that and I taught myself it. And now I do know it worked completely. Now I do know. And I was able to test out so many marketing materials over the last like year and a half, a little bit more. Like I'm constantly changing, not like constantly, all my slides go for like a month and like tweak them and I'll 6 iterations and then I'll do like a totally new deck and then whatever, just to kind of see like what's going. And that's been really cool. The first month was December. We sold like a couple tins and I was stoked. I was like so excited. And then January we sold like 40, either December or January was 40. I think January was 40. And I lost like $1,000 on advertising after everything. And then February, I lost like 2 or 3 grand advertising, but I sold more tins. So I knew people would buy it. I just knew I wasn't very good at advertising. And then March, I lost less. I lost like only like $1,000. And I was like, could be on to something. I only lost $1,000 this month. This is decent gambling. And then I think it was April that I finally was like, it's green. I mean money. Like
Oh,
I can afford to like eat today. So I was just losing money. Like I didn't have that much money. Like I just like it was just like savings. So I was like, oh my god, it's green. I'm like calling my dad. I'm like, Dad, I did it. Because my dad was like, yeah, not all businesses work. Like he said so many companies. He was like, maybe this one's just not it. And now he's like, Copilot, Copilot, Copilot. Like, you gotta grow. Keep going, keep going. As soon as I was green, he was like, no. And I was like, yeah. He was like, I knew you could do it. I always knew.
I love it. So that was December of 2022. Going into January of 2023 is when
Yeah.
the change started happening. Oh my God. Okay, so I see this. So like month 1, you got 2 sales, but you spent two sales, but I spent $1,000 to get those 2 sales.
I think, it started, I think December. I put in like the months as far back as it would go. So it was a few months before December when it was just on there, but I wasn't really advertising.
Got it.
So
Got it.
December would be, I don't have the thing pulled up, but if you say the numbers out loud, I can tell you what months they are. Two sales would
So
have probably been like October.
you put month one, you made $66, you sold 2 units.
Yeah, I did.
Do you remember which month that was?
Just read out the number of units in a row.
Two. So 2, 11, 4, then 2, 9, 44, 91, 174,
Yeah.
258.
Okay.
Was
40
the
in
9 the
January.
beginning of the
Yes.
all right, so the 44 was
9 was
January.
December.
Got it, got it. Nice.
Yeah.
So that's when you started implementing PPC, and that's when the trend started like changing for you. You're like, "Oh my God, this is working."
So oh my God. I like couldn't believe it, but also could believe it. I'm always happy to be like proven wrong. Am I gonna be proven that this could actually work? Like I thought it was incredible.
Could you possibly, and maybe you could do this later, no pressure on doing it now, but could you possibly, and I can maybe like, I think it's in the sheet actually, if you go to the instructions, there's a video there that Travis made. It will walk you through, if you can pull out the numbers for each month, how much you spent on PPC, that would be great because we do use that for the main channel. We'll put it into the script in a way. You'll see how, but if you can, that would be great. I know you put a note down there. I saw you put you that you spent $43,000 on Amazon ads. And I know that's like spread across
Yeah.
the entire time, but it's amazing. Like I can see how you went from, barely getting any sales to it went up to 44 units, then you're selling over 100 unit, 200, 300, 200, and then it's like it's averaging over like almost 200 units a month, which is amazing. And I'm guessing you raised your price as time went.
Yeah, we went the first couple months it was 33. Then when I started selling it, it was 29.99. And then I ordered my next batch of supplements, which was so cool. But they weren't gonna get there in time. And I still was like barely making money at $29 because the fees were like so much and the cost of the product and everything. I was like actually not making money at all, to be honest. I think I was losing money. And so between like needing to order more product and continuing to lose money, I was like, I'm just gonna put it up $5. So I put it to $34.99 and it started selling better. And I was like, well, I can't run out of product, so I need people to stop buying it. So I put it to $39.99 and it sold even better again. And I was like, okay, this is great, but I still need people to stop buying it because I can't run out. And so I put it to $44.99, and then it was like the same as $34.99, and then I put it to $50, and it was the same as 30. And I was like, well, I found my point, but I got to leave it at 50 for like a week until it arrives, until the next product arrives.
Wow, that's amazing. I hear that a lot.
So
There's a lot of sellers who tell me like, "Oh, we raised the price because we're trying to slow down sales," and sales start going up. They're like, it's amazing. That's how they found out like they can sell their product at a premium and it sells even more. Uh, I love that. Do you remember when you placed your second inventory order?
yeah. Actually, I'm realizing I said it was the inventory. I think in that moment it was because the box hadn't been checked into Amazon. I think that's when I actually raised the price. I'm trying to remember. Because I don't think at $30, I honestly don't think I would have ever made enough to place a new order. I didn't realize like how about the margin. Like I just didn't with the advertising costs and everything. So that must have been then. So I placed my next, oh, I don't remember, but it wasn't that long after because it takes like 3 months or 4 months. So it wasn't that long after we started selling. And I was like, oh my God, like I'm gonna have to get more. And I called my sister. I was like, am I crazy? She was like, do it now. I'm like, okay, I'll do it. Type in an email. It must have been like probably like June or July. Yeah, I would say June or July because I think it arrived probably in, wait, is that right? I could find it. I could find it.
In June or July. Okay, yeah. So let me see here. So this
Maybe
is
later. It would have been after I sold about 500 tins on Amazon, is when I would have placed it.
oh, it's that month. June. So it's probably August.
So I might, okay, yeah. No, 500 total.
Oh, 500 total. Oh, that would be much sooner. It'll be
Yeah.
so that would be probably around June, May, June.
That's what I was thinking. Okay. I think it must have been like June. For
Yeah,
some reason, I have it as October that I was like waiting for this next batch to arrive because I was getting very upset because we were going to run out again. But then I was
how
like,
much
oh, maybe I'll just raise the price.
how much was your second order? How much did you place? Did you place like the same order or was it bigger, smaller?
I think I did another 1,000. I think I'm not 100% sure. It could have been a little. I would have been between 1 and 2,000, but I can't imagine it being much more than 1,000 because I just didn't have that like that much profit yet, and it's always a risk.
Mm, got it.
Maybe 1,500.
I love it. That's exciting. Well, congratulations. I mean, you've been doing great. I can see the numbers and you're selling at a higher margin and it's going steady, which is amazing. How much are you averaging on PPC now? Yeah, there you go.
On PPC, to be honest, supplement company, if you know any great supplement marketers, I'm here, Sydney, call me. But we s- we still spend like I handed it over to someone. Right now, my guy is really good. But I handed it over to someone, I think in June, because I was like, all right, I kind of hit a cap of how much I know, and it's gonna take me a lot to learn more. Um, so I handed someone, I've had like 2 or 3 people in total, but I think we spend between like 2 and 3 grand a month on PPC
two
currently.
and 2 and 3 grand. Okay. I mean, that's
Yeah.
not bad. I mean, you're making, 5, 6 grand a month. So you're spending about 30% on marketing. It's not bad.
Well, we sell,
Well, you're making more than that actually, but I mean, that's
yeah,
net
we sell like
profits.
10K a month. We do that, but then we also, there's a lot of, trust me, there's a lot of expenses. Also the cost of the guy that does it. I didn't include that. And like the cost of the product and yeah, I would
How
really
much
like to raise
how
my
much are
margin.
you paying the agency?
I pay him, I did like kind of a commission thing. So it ends up being minimum about 600 a month, but sometimes it'll go more. But he's new. I used to pay a lot less. I used to have a guy that was like $200 a month. Um, I don't know. I'm just testing stuff.
Okay.
What's a fair amount to pay, you think, for a monthly?
I don't know. I never used an agency, but I know they charge like 600, 800 bucks a month on
Yeah.
marketing. Yeah. Some of them also have like minimum requirements. Like they only help people who are making over $100,000 in revenue, and some of them work with smaller business owners and they charge a bit less. But I haven't worked with any agencies, so I'm not like really sure. We try to do our own in-house. We surprisingly we haven't used any PPC on our last product that we launched, and it's doing really good. Surprisingly,
That's amazing.
it's
That's
really
a dream.
good. I know. That was the genius of product research and like naming the product the right thing, and it's doing really well. Um,
Congrats.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, I mean, like we're really excited, and we just launched a second product like a few days ago. Yeah, we're excited to see how well that's gonna do because it's the first of its kind on Amazon. So like we're
Like
really
me.
stoked. Yes. So we're really stoked like to see how it's gonna do. We're really excited to put it out there. And it's really good. It's berberine tea if you ever want to check it out.
Berberine tea. Yeah, I'll check it out. That sounds fun. I
Yeah, it's
love,
really good.
I would love to order some to Indonesia. Berberine tea. Did you get liability insurance for that? I feel like that would be the same thing.
No, we didn't get any liability insurance.
Interesting. When I got my liability insurance, Amazon didn't require it, but I bought it anyways. But now Amazon does require it actually, which was fine. I had it. I just put in my number. But maybe because it's tea, so you're just like steeping it. You're not like chewing the tea. I don't know.
Yeah, once you start selling a certain amount, that's when they ask for it.
Oh, that makes
Yeah.
sense.
In the beginning, they don't require it, but once you go over a certain threshold, they're like, okay, they ask you to submit a liability insurance.
That makes sense. That totally makes sense.
Yeah. So I know we're coming across the hour and I don't want to take too much of your time, but I would like to end this on three costly mistakes that you have made that you could learn from, or maybe you can like share it with our audience who can learn from those mistakes, maybe possibly avoid making them. And
Mm.
I think I'm going to start with the first one that you mentioned. And I think you started the first 6 months not using PPC and not capitalizing on it.
That's a
And
good one.
that made you miss out on a lot of money.
Yeah. And a lot of time that I would have been the only product in the market, like that I
Right.
was the product in the market. Um, yeah, that's a really good one.
How much do you think, how much money do you think you missed out on in the first 6 months by not using PPC and learning how to
Uh,
do it?
to be honest, I feel like everything would have been the same, but it would have just been that 6 to 8 months quicker and it would have balanced out. Maybe I would know more now, so maybe my sales would be higher now. But it probably would be like it just would have balanced out sooner. So say that that was on the end, it would basically be like the next 6 to 8 months. So it would have been 60 to 80K basically, minus fees, minus everything. So maybe a month.
Yeah, no, that's significant, you know?
I never thought about it.
Yeah,
That's all right. We're here now.
I mean, that's why we share this information because, like, like entrepreneurship is tough, man. Like, so it's like we all lean on each other to learn from each other and like try to avoid some of those mistakes and learn from each other's lessons. And
Yeah.
something like this is like very critical. Like, yeah, PPC is really important, and I feel like a lot of people skip learning about PPC till after they launch when they should be capitalizing on it before and setting it
So
up
true.
even before you launch. So from day one when you launch, like your campaigns are ready.
Yeah, that's so smart. So
Um, yeah, is there another mistake that you feel like it costs you money, and if you're going back you're like, oh, I wish I did this differently?
I think it's like I never really regret anything, to be honest. I feel like all roads led me here, and I'm pretty happy. But I think that as I said before, I was like so mean to myself through all of this, and it like really I beat myself down all the time and like everything. I think that cost me emotionally way more than money's worth. Like I think, yeah, I think my advice would just be like, just be nice to yourself. Remember you're doing the best you can, like, and trust yourself. Honestly, that like I wasn't trusting myself at all. I would check the same fact 15 times. And I'm like, you already checked it. Like, you already know. Like, why are you stressing out about this? Like, just unnecessary stress, unnecessary everything. But at the end of the day, like, if you're being an entrepreneur, like, you clearly have some entrepreneur gene tendency. Like, you're gonna figure it out. So just trust yourself. Like, it's okay. Like, that's my
would you
yeah.
would you say you've almost like quit doing what you were doing because of negative self-talk?
Yes. Yes.
Like that could have been in the realm of possibilities that you would have quit on this whole thing due to negative
Yeah.
self-talk.
100%. Like I don't, yeah, 100%. Like again, I was like losing money and I would literally make it a joke. Like I didn't have that much money, but I was like, oh, we're down. Like literally just making it a whole joke. Like money's okay. The money can come and go, but like you're always with you. So I don't know. I think
Yeah.
yeah, that's the
Yeah, I
one thing
mean,
that I get through. Yeah.
yeah, entrepreneurship is tough, and if you don't maintain the right mindset, the right balance, I mean, imagine you've quit and you missed out on all of this, missed out on this opportunity of having like your own brand, your own company, and having this passive
Biggest
income.
world. In my life, I wouldn't be in Bali. Like now, I'm confident in myself. Like through making Copilot a success, like I it like changed my brain and how I talk to myself. And now I'm like, Copilot is going great, and that's amazing. And I know that I could do it again. whether it was through Amazon or like something else. Like now I'm renovating a house and I'm stoked. But if I didn't have like that first thing, again, because I never like had a real like full-time job, I didn't I like I knew that I was capable, but I didn't have any proof that I was capable. So Copilot like becoming a success and like Amazon like helping me to do that has now given me like the self-belief that like no matter what, like I'm gonna be okay. Like I'll always be able to make money through one way or another. It's okay.
I love that. That's beautiful. Yeah, congratulations on all the success. Honestly, that's amazing. I'm so happy for you. Congratulations. It's doing great. It looks like a great product. Um,
I really appreciate it. It's crazy. I'm like, I just got goosebumps. It is a success. That's so crazy. It's so like, well,
um, I'm trying to think of like one last mistake because it is part of our we like to share with our audience like three big mistakes every seller makes to that cost them money, and like this is like something that helps them out to save money on. But I want to ask you this question, and maybe it's like challenging, maybe you might disagree, but let me know what you think. Do you feel like the liability insurance, I mean, because it did cost you $4,500, do you feel like
yeah.
that was maybe that like that could have been some cash flow you could have used for PPC or for something else because you didn't need to get it early on? Um, and also like you have an S corp, right? So the liability does go on the company per se, but I do get it like having a liability insurance. It even takes off the liability off your company, so like it doesn't even hit you. But do you feel like that was a big expense and maybe like limited your cash flow for other stuff early
I
on?
could go I could go either way on that one. It definitely was a big expense, but I felt that it gave me peace of mind, but it didn't even give me that much peace of mind, to be honest. I was still stressed. Um, maybe I've listened to so many how I built this podcast and like read so many different things when I was like starting this journey. And like, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if I would say that was a mistake because like
Do you think maybe like
I'm
not
I
starting
wouldn't not do it.
earlier? Yeah, sorry to cut you, but maybe that's not a costly mistake. But do you feel like maybe not starting earlier on Amazon, that could have been a costly mistake?
Yeah, definitely not starting earlier on Amazon, definitely not investing in myself in PPC, definitely being mean to myself. I feel like there's got to be another one. I'm just thinking of it. I'm sorry. That's why when I was doing it, I was like, I just couldn't think of it. Because I'm always very like thoughtful with how I spend my funds. Like I do, if I hadn't spent the money on liability insurance, maybe I could have spent that money on like outside advertising because do some outside advertising, but I like really wanted to pay this company to do a bunch for me, whether they directed it to Amazon or my website, but I just didn't have the money for it. Like I still want to use them and they're just really expensive. But I do think that it would like I think it would be like a hard couple
Yeah.
months, but I think ultimately like it would really still do. So maybe that's a mistake that I'm currently living in. Um, but I think maybe that like maybe if I had a little more money and like directing it to at the beginning or even now, like directing it to outside advertising. So maybe that's something I'm gonna research after this call.
Mm, okay. I love it. Well, thank you, Sydney. I appreciate it. I mean, this was really cool. Thank you for sharing your journey, your story, your struggles, your success. I mean, this is really inspiring to so many people out there who are aspiring to starting their own product, their own brand, just to see like how things can turn around, like self-negative talk could stop you from the greatest opportunity of your life, how
Obviously.
what you thought was not working and you were kind of bummed out because you're like, oh, this is not how it turned, how I hoped it would have turned. And then all of a sudden now you got this full-fledged business that's making you a passive income and it's growing, and I wish you more success and more to come. So thank you for joining and sharing your story.
Thanks so much. That was really fun talking to you. I appreciate it.